morning, happy Tuesday, welcome to Hunkydory TV. My name is Amy Wilkes, I'll be presenting the show today alongside Lisa. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning.
Are you okay?
I'm not so bad.
Jolly good. Have you had your breakfast?
I have.
What have you had nice?
I had some cornflakes.
Nice.
Nice.
And in the demonstration corner we have got Natalie. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
You okay?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm excited for this this type of a show. It's probably one of my favourite types of shows to do, actually.
Yes, and I think it's always really popular with everyone watching as well, isn't it? And if you could see the amount of
oh my goodness,
things that Natalie has brought into this show with her.
Like Lisa was like, so you need your ink pads. Ink pads are here in this big box, taking up loads of room. She was like, and then we've got the pens. I was like, okay, which pens? She was like, both. This is one set. This is the other set. Like, there's so many. And then she was like, and then we're going to do the pencils as well. Luckily, this is just the pencils. But I'm like, I'm spaced in with everything that we need. But it's fine because it means that we're going to do a whole show. And there's going to be loads of different techniques, loads of different prism things. So it's going to be fun.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be fun.
So we are carrying on our £100,000 giveaway with lots of fabulous stamping and colouring techniques and offers today. If there is anything that you want to see in terms of your colouring, stamping, please do drop your question in the comments and we will do our very best to answer those as we go along, because we want it to be interactive.
Yeah.
We want, it's like techniques and sort of how to use these products, maybe in different ways.
So if anyone's like struggles with, I don't know, blending or specifically getting like nice colour down with like your brush markers or anything really, just ask us.
Just ask
us, we're here to help.
And we will keep an eye on the comments as well. But before we do that, let's have a look at our Win It Weekly. We just got a lost mouse for a second there, but it's all good now. So you are in with a chance to win this gorgeous Spring is Here Ultimate Collection. So within this, you are getting the little book, so 120 pages within that little book. You are also getting the whole decollage collection, and if you hold it to the side you can see the amount that you are going to get in there. Create 24 super-sized cards, and that is a minimum, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we're talking spring, but you can see all of the themes in there. You can use all year round. There's lots of florals within there as well, so that is included in the prize as well. And also you are going to get the luxury card inserts, 24 sheets in there to work perfectly with that deco large and your little book, worth £54.97. We will have 2 lucky winners on Friday's show, but all you need to do is like, share and comment the answer to the following question. The Imperial State Crown consists of how many jewels in total? Is it A, over 3,000? Is it B, over 2,000? Or is it C, over 4,000?
Is this the one that they wear when they get rained? Rained? When they become the king or queen?
I don't know, but we were saying yesterday, imagine, even if it was B, the answer was B, over 2,000, imagine the weight
I was just thinking
of that, and they wear it sort of for a long time,
I
don't
get a
they?
headache when my hair's on top of my head. Like, when my hair's in a bun on my head, I get a headache. So
Natalie's never going to be
I'm
queen.
never going to be queen. Never.
So if you know the answer, make sure you put that into the comments and we will announce the lucky 2 winners on Friday's show. So, as I said earlier, we are carrying on with our £100,000 giveaway. But in case you missed yesterday's show, here's a short VT with Dan to explain how it all works.
Are you ready for the big Hunkydory craft giveaway? We're excited to announce Hunkydory's first craft giveaway week, where we're going to give away up to £100,000 of Hunkydory goodies. All week long, when you shop for our products, either on HobbyMaker or direct with us here at Hunkydory, you can get even more for your money. We have a whole host of essential items that now come with their own free gifts, plus we have buy one get one free deals on some of your favourite items. But that's not all. This week we're dropping a huge new launch, and every item comes with freebies you definitely don't want to miss. Join us on Monday to Friday on Hunkydory TV or Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday on Hobbymaker to grab your share of the giveaway. See you there!
So as you can see, we are giving away lots and lots of different products. It's sort of like you buy one thing and you get something else free. It might be the same or a different product. So keep watching and you will see the fabulous offers that we have. And we are starting off with what I think is an absolute game changer.
Oh my goodness, yes.
In the world of stamping, I don't know how it took this long for the idea, but it is just genius, isn't it?
I think even for like us who like craft all the time here at work, like this has changed like even my stamping. Like,
Definitely.
I think about the amount of times I used to stamp like a big image or something and I would miss a spot and then that was it.
Yeah, how much cardstock I've wasted over the years.
Ever be able to like line it up again. So this is so handy
Yeah.
to have.
And the size of it, you've got those grid marks on, so if you're maybe putting sentiments on, you can make sure they're lined up. So within this offer, you are getting the stamping press and these 2 magnets, but then you are also getting 2 more magnets for free. Should be £40.98, but on offer for £24.99. And having the 4 magnets is really useful. So if you've got an extra large image and you know, maybe a large piece of cardstock, you want to hold it down in each corner. More than one occasion I've had to rummage through the bin for one of these before, or it's become a magnet to something else.
Yeah, I always find them stuck on the back of my trimmer.
That's it, yeah, and I can't find it. So it's definitely worth having those spares as well. If there's anyone that doesn't know how the stamping press works, this clear plate here comes away from the stamping platform. Is there an open one?
I've got mine. Although,
should we grab? Can I grab it? Let's grab it.
Can you get that one?
Yeah.
Mine's a bit. Yeah.
It's just nice to show how it works. There we go. So let's get the open one. So as you can see, this opens up. So it's sort of magnetised there as well. So you can remove it. You put your stamp onto this part here, and then you can. That's it. Ink it up and then press it down, and then the nice thing is if you miss a part of the stamp or you know it's not as clear as you want it to be, you can just re-ink this side, put that back down, and it guarantees that you are going to stamp in exactly the same position again time. And that is the brilliant thing about it. So your stamping press should be £40.98. It's coming with 2 more free magnets just for £24.99. But good. Anyone who has been put off by stamping because they can't get those crisp images or the whole of the image, this is the time to give this a try, because it will definitely change how you ink.
I love it.
Next up, we have got the Prism ink pads.
Oh, this is such a good deal.
So you can buy all of these colours individually on a buy one get one free.
I know.
So £2.99, you are going to be able to get 2 colours. You can see the amount, trying to put them all in, that you have got to choose from in here. We just put them like this so they're easy to show you all the colours. But you can see the depth and the variety of colours that you are going to get within these. And I think even within each ink pad, sort of the tone and depth of the colour depends on how you apply it and how you use it. So there's a range of colours within those. Am I right? It's a 40?
40 different. No, there's more than 40 because there's 6 in the...
46?
Yes, because there's 40 in the main collection, which you can buy as a bundle.
Yes.
But then we did that limited edition Tranquil Moments collection.
Oh, okay.
There's 6 in that. So across all of our ink pads,
you've got 46 to choose from. So it might be that you've already got these inks and just need to replace some of those.
Yeah,
Or maybe you've started your collection.
I'd be replenishing all of my favourite
Definitely,
colours here.
yeah. And thinking about what stamps you've got and which colours work best. So if you've got a lot of floral stamps, maybe picking sort of the greens and sort of what colour flowers you want, whether it's pinks and purples or the oranges and yellows. If you do more backgrounds, maybe you need some sort of blues for your skies.
Yes.
So really have a look. Buy one, get one free on those ink pads, which is an absolute bargain. You can also see you can put your blending tool sponges underneath.
You can.
So you've got a blending tool for each ink pad. Talking of blending tools,
We need them as well.
I'm just reading, this doesn't look right to me. So you've got your blending tools here. So 2 tools.
What?
That's what I mean.
That's not right, Lisa, is it? Is that right? That can't be right. How much are these on their own?
$5.99 just for the tools on their own.
So you're getting 2 tools and your 6 sponges, blending sponges within there. But then you are also getting 24 blending sponges for free.
That's
So
doesn't-
you are saving more than you are spending. You are saving £7.98 and paying just £5.99. That's crazy.
That
So I
is
think
silly.
even if you've got the tools, it never harms to have a spare.
No.
But then you are getting those 24 blending sponges for free. So maybe if you are, so you'd buy 12 inks and get 12 free.
Yeah.
And then you've got all of these blending sponges, which is going to be enough for those as well. So definitely the time to start stocking up on these. £5.99. I can't believe that.
That is
saving
absolutely insane.
£7.98.
That's just silly.
Because
It
we don't
doesn't
need
even
to.
make sense.
We spoke about this yesterday. There's certain products that we're always going to sell at full
Yeah.
price, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
they sell anyway. People need them. People want them. But to put them on offer as well.
It's silly that.
Somebody
That is
was
very
in a
silly.
good mood the day they decided
I know.
these offers, definitely.
Good mood or slightly crazy, I'm not sure.
So we are going to go over to Natalie for a demo now. It says basic stamping techniques, how to use the platform and how to blend.
Yes, so we're going to do a couple of different techniques in here, but what I wanted to do was do little bits and pieces throughout the day, and then we're going to finish off by like making a big card up. So I've got some Ink Me cardstock here, and we are going to place this on our platform. Now this is A4, you could be using any size you want, but I just wanted to show you that if you are doing bigger cards or bigger sections of cards, you don't have to worry about like how you put your paper on, as long as where you put your stamp is within this like 8 by it's 8 by 13, isn't it? I think no, 8 by 6 platform. I was mixing up my centimetres and my inches then you're going to be absolutely fine, and it's going to work perfectly on here. So I thought, because we've only really seen them once, we're going to bring in our Teddy Loves stamps. Now these are quite small stamps, but if you're wanting to do a card where you're wanting to use all of the different images on here, then this is quite useful, because you get to sort of mix and match all of these really fun characters on here. So I'm just going to pop all of them on here like so. I think we're going to use those 3. We're going to use we're going to stamp some onto some of our different cardstock as well for later on, because we're also going to be bringing in some of our water brushes, so you obviously need your other different markers for that. So once you've popped your stamps in place and you're happy with where they are and you've got your magnets ready to go, you're going to press down on the lid, and that is going to stick your designs up onto here. So I'm going to do a bit of mix and matching, because I'm going to use my Memento ink on my Rockstar. I'm going to have to remember this for later.
Karen said she'd stopped stamping completely until she bought the stamping press. It's definitely a game changer.
It's just such a useful product to have. And then my other 2, I'm going to go in with VersaFine, because I will use my other mediums for those. So just going in with that one.
And Fiona says, for me, it adds confidence that I can actually get a good image definitely.
And when you're pressing down on here, just make sure you're going over all of those different sections. What's really different from this stamping press to other stamping presses on the market is the fact that we don't have hinges on this
Yes.
press. It is a stamping press which works with like a magnet base, and that means that when we lift this off, we're literally lifting this up, instead of when you've got a magnetic one, you would have this like hinge section here, and that would sort of like move forwards. That means that this base isn't always going to be in the same place. And when we developed this, and when we were looking at finding a stamping press to bring to you guys here, we literally tried like I think there was 6 different presses.
Oh, was that?
We had as samples, and we would
try
try
them.
them.
Yeah.
We would test like the movability. We had ones that didn't have bases. We had ones that were hinges. We had ones that had a hinge on the side. There were so many different ones, but it just means that you're going to get a crisp finish. Now, I'm really happy with how these two have stamped, but this one's a little bit light for me, and that's because my ink pad is just sort of like running low. So what I'm going to do is just add more ink onto that. It's not super juicy, my Memento. And I'm just going to go back in, press that over, and now you've got a darker image by just going in perfectly with that. What you can also do as well with our ink pads, if you are using alcohol markers, you can create, or you can stamp in with your Prism ink pads. So your Prism ink pads are a water-based ink pad, and when it comes to colouring in with your Prism mediums, you it always works with like opposite attracts. So if you are stamping with something that is, if you're going to colour with something that is water-based, then what you want to do is you want to ink with like a permanent ink. So for the ones I'm going to colour in with my pencils and my brush markers, I'd be using VersaFine because that's a pigment ink. And then for my alcohol markers, you want to use something which is a water-based product. So that means that you can also stamp with your ink pads as well. So I can just get my lid where I popped it, put my other stamp down, and this gives you a whole other world, because it means that the base and the outline of your stamp can be sort of like very, like what they call non-line colouring. So you're using
Oh, I
the
love that
same
effect.
type
Yeah.
of ink colour as you're going to colour in that bear with. So you can also do things like that with these, and then use your alcohol markers to colour them in as well. And there's some fantastic deals on those products coming up later in the show. But that is basically how you use your stamping press. It also works really good for if you're wanting to tile like a really large stamp. I think I took all of my stamps out of here, but you could place like a background stamp on your plate here. And then all you would do once you'd sort of like stamped it once is pick up your magnets, move your paper along till it lines up with the edge of it, put your magnets back down, and then stamp it again, and that's how you can make your really large like background stamp
Yeah,
images.
what I always do as well, if I'm worried that the stamp might still have some ink on it, maybe lay a piece of acetate over your cardstock, just so you can see that it's all lined up.
Just so it's
then
like
remove
working
the
out
acetate. Yeah.
where you're going to stick it. So we're going to pop that to one side, and that is basics for sort of like your stamping press. You can hold it this way round, you can have it this way round. It's completely up to you. And to be honest, for me, it depends on what I'm stamping with. If I've got lots of stamps and I'm laying them out, I like to do it this way round, but it really doesn't necessarily matter. You've also got this really nice lip here, so for butting up your cardstock, it's great to sort of sit there, because that also gives you an extra sort of helping hand in making sure that the cardstock doesn't move. So your magnets help the cardstock not move, this little lip here helps your cardstock not move, and also the fact that this just moves up and down. There's no sort of side to side swishy movement that you're going to get with this, so it is really fantastic. It's also got a really nice soft bed on the back as well, which is perfect for your stamping. So that is sort of like how to stamp. So our images are stamped ready for colouring later, but now we're going to do like a background, and I'm going to show you how well these ink pads blend together. So I'm going to cut this down because I think we're going to do a 6x6 card with this one. So I'm going to cut this down to 6x6, and then I've seen it. Oh, what's it called? The grip mat. It is there. I thought it was. Oh, it's very dusty. I might have to. It has. Where's the other one gone?
Oh
no. We're not getting that back, are we?
No.
Let me just clean this off because it's very.
But then for
sticky
people
on
who
there.
have got that grip mat, it's good to see how easy they are to clean
Oh,
as well,
yeah.
isn't it?
You just need
Just
to sort of
using
like
a
wipe
wipe.
them with a wipe, and then just let them air dry, and that stickiness is going to come back straight away on here. So I'm going to place this down on my mat, like using the grid that we've already got there, and then I'll stick my cardstock down onto here as well. So that's in place. This is really helpful when it comes to like blending and inking and stuff. And then I'm going to use one of my ink and twist masks. This is the spiral mask. Now these ones are designed that you ink it one way and then you twist it and you sort of line it up again. It's a really fun mask to use.
It's such a clever idea, aren't they, these?
They're really, really fun, but I think they work great for like backgrounds with the designs on. So I'm going to get some tape, stick this down. Now, if I was using a piece of cardstock that was smaller than 6x6, I wouldn't need to tape down my mask. But because my sort of cardstock is the same size as my paper, there's no extra space for my mask to stick down on. So just add in a little bit more of that. And then I think I'm going to go with red for this background.
Ooh, nice.
So let me find those colours of ink. We've got letterbox red. We've also got red pastel, which is a little bit darker. So we'll bring both of those in. At Hunkydory, we always keep our foam pads in the base of our Prism ink pads. It's just a really easy, clean way to store them.
Yeah, because the base is it's deeper than the
deeper in
blending
here
sponge,
than
isn't
the
it? So it's not
sponge.
going to sort of...
So when you have them on here,
Yeah.
you're not going to get loads of ink like everywhere, just messing up everything. So I'm going to use...
Have we got those on the website, Lisa?
the dots.
Yeah.
We will do.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start off in the centre, and we're just going to blend this out. Now I'm going to try and create like an ombre with this.
hook circles. Yeah, so you're getting the hook circles to attach those blending sponges to your ink pads. You're getting 120 for just $3.99.
So good.
They're just
so good.
Yeah.
But that is just sort of like the hook bit of the Velcro, because of course we've got the soft side on your blending sponges already, and that's what allows them to sort of sit on there. So I've gone really dark with my blending in the centre. I'm just lightly coming out of the edges on here.
Pauline asked, what cardstock are you using?
So cardstock for my inks, my pencils if I'm not using water, and my alcohol markers, I will always use our Ink Me cardstock.
Yeah.
There's loads of different variations we've got on the website. We're going to run through them at the end of the show as well, so we can show you those. But it's just such a good cardstock for holding ink and like blending the colours out. It's absolutely just magnificent, like how detailed you can be with this. So I'm now just working the colour out a little bit just to blend more seamlessly out to those lighter areas. And as I'm moving further and further out with my ink pads, I'm lifting the pressure that I'm putting on here.
And the nice things with these, you can layer them, can't you, the colour, so you
Yes.
can keep going over it.
Yeah, we can keep going over. I can keep darkening this centre panel, and you can already see that that is sort of creating like a an ombre within that edge. And then if you want to, you can go in with like a darker tone of colour here. So let's try our red pastel, because that is just a bit of a deeper red. And we'll just place that again in this centre panel just to bring that colour out. So let's lift this up now just to show you the effect that we've created. We are going to do one more other thing with this, which I really quite like doing with my ink. So this now is giving you this really fun background. Now you can go in again if you want to and twist this, layer up your colours more, and it's going to create like a full spiral effect, but I just want this effect for my background. We're going to do one more technique, and then I'm going to go in with a little bit of light grey just over those white sections, just to sort of get that ombre in there as well. Now I'm going to go in with my red pastel again, because it is the darkest colour, and I'm going to choose one of the sentiments in here. I think I'm going to go with, might choose a couple actually. Let's go with You're the Best, Berry Hugs, and we can also go with Stay Cool. And then I'm going to take a Stampin' block. Now we've got lots of different size acrylic blocks within our set. I think the one I'm looking for might be on my desk, but I can use this
There's
one
some
anyway.
in there as well.
So there's like you get 3 different sizes. We've got this really large like A6 set. We have the smaller, longer one, and then we have one that's like half of this size, which is great for like little sentiments and stuff, but it's also going to work really nicely with this. So I'm going to pop this on. Now the beauty of stamping with ink is that you get a really crisp dark finish. The difference in blending is that you've got a lighter finish, and it's like mixing those colours together.
Yep.
So what you can do is stamp on top of that, and then you can still see, you won't be able to see it just yet, but stay with me, I'll show you when we lift it up. You might be able to see that one a little bit coming through.
You can see that on the camera.
So you can create like patterns within your blending as well, and it's a really cool way to use this stamp actually. So I'm going to go in with Stay Cool a few times. We'll lift that up. For cleaning your stamps as well, I would suggest a microfiber cloth or baby wipes, whichever you feel is the easiest for you. And then I'm going to go in with You're the Best. You can just start to see that coming through on there. It's really fun. Let's do this one up
And the
here.
lovely thing about this, isn't it, is it just have a play, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're only going to use up
You're only
your
going to
piece
learn
of cardstock.
as well, like different techniques for using with your stamping when you actually like do it. It's something that you have to practice and you have to do to sort of learn the different techniques. We can't.
But then I feel like if you've got the right tools to do it
that
with,
massively
you're going to get good results from the start, aren't you, with it as well?
So I'm just going to fill in any sort of gaps that I feel are there. I'm just going to go over that one again with my last one. And then I think we're done for that. Let's lift this up now. I'm just going to lift up our background. So now we've got that gorgeous spiral. And if I take this off here for a moment, I'll show you close up what we've created. So can you see how you've got that gorgeous spiral, but with the sentiment like almost like ghost printed in the background? And then I'm going to go in with, I don't think it's the concrete that I want. I'm going to go in with the Dove Grey. Mine's got a bit of purple on here, so I might just get a new sponge out of my pack. And I'm just going to go in with that dove grey, just covering these areas on here. So what you can do then, I don't know if this one's going to work, it might be a bit too light. Let me change that. We might need something a little bit darker. Now concrete is probably a bit too dark for what I want, but for bringing my finger daubers, which are also a great alternative for your blending sponges, and these are perfect for working in those smaller gaps as well. Let me just bring this piece in because I just want to see how light I need to be on here. Like practice that technique before I go straight in on there. And then we are just going to blend in to these areas. And this as well, going over that red is not a problem because it's just going to help to darken up that sort of first area that that sort of nice ombre that we've got going on there. And of course our characters are going to sit across the middle of this. I kind of like how the theme of this is kind of, it reminds me of like a circus almost.
It does, doesn't it? I was just thinking that, yeah.
With the images that we've got. So really lightly in those spaces now. So I haven't used the mask in the sort of way that it's designed to ink into a state. We've just used it to create a really fun background, and then we can just build up that colour in the middle, and that's going to help to darken out those sort of like white bits as well. Almost looks a little bit scary in some ways, but that's sort of like basics of blending and how you can create really cool backgrounds. We've got our images ready to go, so we'll go back to Amy, we'll see what more things we've got on our deals, and then we'll come back for some colouring.
Okay, so we are going to carry on with some more mega deals. So first up we have the watercolour pencils. We have to open them, and they do come in this storage as well, so you can see all of the colours. Almost doesn't fit on the screen. That you are going to get 48 watercolour pencils. They've all got their separate sort of elasticated holder there. You've then got this panel here so that the sort of the nibs are covered as well. 48 watercolour pencils within this fabric container. You are also going to get free with this 3 water brushes. Three water brushes.
Wow.
These have got different size sort of nibs on them, small, medium and large. So if anyone hasn't seen these, you put water into the barrel here, and it comes out of the sort of the brush nib there. So you are getting those free. You are also getting our Prism Crafting Handbook for free.
What?
So I know. An introduction to Prism watercolour pencils with techniques, tips and inspiration. Anyone who has got any of our handbooks will know the amount of knowledge within them. So there is your colour guide there. You've got sharpening alternatives, and just look at that, the colour wheel. I mean, you could use that in all of your card making, couldn't you?
Yes, 100%.
Have a look at that. So you've got all the different tools that you may need in there, and then you've just got card projects within here. Let me just, so you can see there you've got the colours that you'll need to use, the other products that you will need, and then your written instructions on there. Really good to just get the most out of these watercolour pencils, isn't
I think
it?
so.
Lots of different ideas. If you are new to watercolouring, these are just going to be so helpful to guide you through all of these different techniques. So you can see within there you have got the handbook. The handbook on its own should be $9.99, so you are getting that free along with the water brushes. Should be £49.97, but you are getting it for £24.99, and you can see how easily they roll up. So maybe if you're crafting on the go,
Yeah.
maybe if you're going on holiday, you've got a caravan, You've got children that like colouring. These are going to be perfect. You can see how it rolls up. Really portable as well. $24.99 for those 3 products. That is brilliant, isn't it? Next up, we have got your Prism craft markers. So you can see, oh, this is not going to go well, is it? Oh, there we go. All of the different sets that you can get within these. Buy one, get one free. So if you buy this one, you might get this one free. You buy this one, you might want to get this one free. So you are getting 12 alcohol markers for just $9.99.
With this one, Lise, if people are going to do this, do they just need to put the colours that they're choosing in their basket?
Yeah, and it will automatically deduct it.
All the buy one get one frees are you pick which 2.
Okay, so it won't be the same. You can have different ones. Maybe have a look. Which ones have you already got? Let's have a look at some of these and just go through them really quickly so that people can see the different varieties that we have got. So you have got your pinks. Then you've got your purples. And don't forget with these ones, they are 2 nibs. So you've got the chisel nib and the bullet nib within there. You can see all of the different colours you are going to get within there as well. You've got that barrel that won't roll off the table, which is always helpful. You've got your reds there. You've got greens, your blues. And then one that I use all the time, your cool greys.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Really useful, that one is. Then we've got your yellows, your turquoises. Let me hold them there so you can see the nibs there. You have got your neutrals on there. You've got your warm greys. You've got your browns. You've got your pastels. Love those ones as well. You've got your darks on there, and then you have got your brights. So maybe if you are new to these, I think those last 3 sets definitely there, all the different colours you get within those, and then maybe sort of those cool greys or the neutrals. Should be $9.99 each. Currently buy one get one free, so you are getting 12 Prism craft markers for just $9.99, so saving
Crazy
yourself
deals.
$9.99, isn't it? So that's literally £5 packet, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, and you get 6 pens in each, so less than £1 a pen for those. We also have on offer, and you might have seen that Natalie has bought hers in for the show as well, your Prism brush markers. So each pack contains 12 dual tip pens. So this time you are getting your brush nib and your fine liner. So perfect if you do journaling and scrapbooking. These are $14.99, but again, they are on a buy one, get one free. So you have got your blue lagoon there. These are so good, aren't they?
They are.
The amount of things that you can do with them. You have got your heavenly sunset. You have got your berry burst there, showing you the colours on the top as well. So each one of these has got 2 different nibs. Your forest walk, so all of those sort of browns and green tones within that one. You have got your rainbow pastels. You can see clearly there, all those colours. And then lastly, you have got your antique dreams, sort of those darker, richer tones within there. So 6 different sets in total. So if you wanted all 6 sets, you would only be paying for 3 of them. So $14.99, currently buy one, get one free. So when you're on the website, just put 2 into your basket, whichever 2 you want, and you will get one of those for free.
Are we
Perfect.
ready?
So are you ready?
I'm ready.
Right, yep. Okay, so we're going to go back over to Natalie now for our next demo, which says, show the difference between the different colouring mediums.
That's what we're going to do. So I've got my Rockstar, which we stamped in Memento. I've got my Decorator Guy, which we stamped in Versafine. And then I've just stamped the Footballer. Now you'll see that the colour of this cardstock is slightly different. And that's because this is our pad of watercolour card, and I'm going to use this for our brush markers. Now I would say our brush markers are the only colouring medium that we have where you have to be super specific with using the right cardstock, because it's going to give you the best finish. So I've just cut these guys out, so I'm going to finish cutting these ones, and we're just going to sort of go around the edge of their heads, just leaving a nice white edge. And I think it's the best sort of thing to do if you are colouring and you're wanting to sort of create a scene with your little teddies. You could use masking sheet and like mask them together and then colour them together and then cut them all out as one. But with our background as well, I wanted to be able to move them around a little bit and make sure that they were going to be in the right place. So just go in back around the edge of here, and then we're going to colour them all in and show you like the different techniques for colouring with the different pens as well, because I always feel that that's quite handy to know too. So that is our teddy. I'm going to put him up here so we know, and I've just got my mat down here still, but I am going to remove it because I don't want to get any alcohol markings on there. So I'm going to start off with my pencils. I think my pencils are sometimes the easiest kind of like product to colour with. So let's go in with pencils, and we're going to colour in our DIY guy. Now there's two different ways you can use these pencils, because these are a water-based pencil as well. So we can sort of like add touches of colour and then brush it out with some water if you wanted to. You can just use them as basic pencils and go over them as well. That also works. So let me grab my colours from here. I also think these pencils are great for like adding texture, and you can also go over any of your mediums with these to sort of add the designs onto them. I want to bring in that red as well, because I want to keep that theme sort of like going through here. So I'm going to start off with my teddy, and I'm going in with, this is colour 32, which I believe from the packs is gingerbread, if I remember
What number is
correctly.
it?
Colour
I'll have a look.
32. I think it's gingerbread. And when I'm doing this, because we're doing like a bear, and you've got quite a lot of texture in a bear, you don't necessarily want your colouring to be flat. So I'm going around in like circular motions, and you'll see that that will like layer on top of each other, and it will give you more sort of like definition instead of it being like super flat. So I'm going to go in with that, and then I'm going to go onto like a darker colour, and I'm just going to go in and sort of bring that around the edge of my teddy.
I think with a lot of our stamps as well, that they're really detailed, aren't they? So it really does guide you, doesn't it, as to where you need to add the colour.
Where you want to sort of like add those darker sort of bits and pieces. So again, with this one, I'm not doing circular motions now, but I am doing like sort of like up and down like flicks. So around the top of the ears and then over into the face here. And again, just like with your ink pads, with your pencils, if you sort of add more pressure down onto here, then that will give you a darker pigment. So you're going to lie like a darker pigment down versus going, when we started off we were doing it quite lightly, and that is going to help you build up that sort of like natural, I can't think of the word, the natural sort of like light in your colouring.
Yes.
Is probably the right way to put it. So I'm going to do the same on his hands. I love colouring as well. I love watching people colour too.
I know, because I had these
So-
stamps on Hobby Maker last week, so the night before I just spent the evening colouring.
Just colouring.
Football on the telly, colouring.
It's
was
so
lovely.
good. And then of course we can go in again and add like a deeper tone in here if we want to, and just go around, and again just keep going around those edges to blend those colours in. And because it is a teddy bear, I'm not going to use water on this. You absolutely can do with your alcohol, with your pencils, and that gives you like a really easy sort of way of colouring in. But I think that this, with the texture we're trying to create, and if I lift this up a little bit more, you might be able to see just what I mean in terms of like the texture.
Right.
So it
Yeah,
is
I
trying,
think,
isn't
yeah.
it? Am I too
Maybe
close?
put your hand behind it so it's got a plain background,
Oh, that,
Oh wait, let me try this.
I think you can still see the definitely the shading on there. Yeah,
What we need is a colouring camera.
colouring.
Colouring that is close up. I'm gonna go really dark with his nose, and then I'm going to use the lighter shade, that 32, just to go back over this lighter bit, but then I'm going to bring that in a little bit more deeper just to get that natural sort of edge in there, and we'll do that with his ears as well, just go in with that lighter shade. So let's go colour in his outfit. I'm going to give him a red hat so he matches the red background that we've got, and anything that's got a curve with it as well. I always like to start off in those outside edges and then just blend the colours together, so go lighter, because again that's going to give you that sort of definition that you want from something that's a little bit more round. His shirt's going to be white. I think you've got to have dungarees on, haven't you, if you're a
Definitely, yeah, like denim.
So let's start off really light with this sort of like base colour.
Do you always do the lightest colour first,
Yeah,
like a
because
base for
you
it?
can always add colour, but you can never take it away. So I always, with any medium, and you'll see it when we go into the other colours as well, I'll always start off with the lighter shade first and then use the darker shade after that. So let's go in and just add again that shade in.
I love the size of these images as well, because they're not,
They're so good.
they're big enough that they're like a focal point for your card, but not too big that with colouring, you know, they're not. It's not going to take too long to do it.
It doesn't take a long time. Like already we've kind of nearly got most of this guy finished. It's quite cool. And then again, anything that's sort of like going to be a little bit rounder. You can see I've done it with the legs. I've done it with the pocket there as well. Just going in and doing that lighter colour first, and then I'm going in with this really deep navy blue, and mainly focusing that again on those darker areas, and then you can lightly blend those colours out and they will blend really nicely together. That is the best thing I think about like a watercolour medium, is how well that the pens blend together. So we've got him there now, just going to go over the top of this, and then we need to do his paintbrush, and I think we might do it red too, so it looks like he's painted the background maybe a little bit.
Oh, nice.
So let's colour in this bit here. I'm going to go and do the drips as well.
Fiona said on the next rainy day she's going to stamp a bunch of images and just practice colouring them in. Yeah,
that's all it takes.
That's a good idea. Yep.
I love colouring, but I wouldn't say I am a colourist in any way, or I have any training in colouring, because I really don't. It's just something that I love to do. So I'm going to get some greys out just for this bit, because it's always really shiny on your paintbrush. So let's just add that in, and then I'm going to go for let's go for green. Go for this really nice bottle green. We'll do that quite light, just so it's not another sort of like super overpowering colour. And then again, I'm going to use the grey just to colour in that part. And again, just like with anything else that we've done, where there's that round, I'm going in and then bringing that colour, going in at the sides and then bringing that colour back around, just to create that look of sort of shape with our design. And then even though we're going to leave this white, I'm just going to add tiny little highlights. And again, like Amy says, follow the stamps because they're really handy to see exactly where you need to be with that. So this is giving us a really like muted, soft, like illustratory colouring to our teddy bears, and that's what you get with your pencils. You get that really gorgeous like soft effect. So let me put these away and we'll move on. Is there any questions about the pencils, Amy?
I'm just having a look through. Carol said my nan used to say practice makes perfect, but it doesn't matter if it isn't. And I think that's the thing,
true,
isn't
isn't
it?
it?
If you just put one colour on there with no blending, that's still good.
Yeah.
That's still going to look lovely on one of your cards. I think a lot of time people doubt their ability, don't they?
Yes.
And you shouldn't do.
No, you really
Use the
shouldn't.
right tools and you will get lovely cards. People saying they've done swatches for all the different colours.
Oh, that's a really good
So
idea.
maybe
so you can see.
have a little notebook with all the swatches of the colours.
It helps you to work out like what colours blend nicer
Yes,
together and which
yeah.
ones really match.
We don't have one for the pencils, but on the blog you can get swatch cards for the 4 types of pens.
Okay, so on where? The hub?
On the hub, yeah.
So if you go onto the hub, there are swatch charts for the prism craft markers and the brush markers.
Yeah.
Yep, so you can print those off and then colour those in so that you've got them to hand as well.
So let's work on our third teddy bear, and this one we're going to be colouring in with our brush markers. So again, the right cardstock is really important for this. I've got the watercolour cardstock. I've used my VersaFine ink pad, and then I'm just selecting my colours out from here. I need like a grey. There's a grey in that one.
Orange.
No, sticking with the red. I'm gonna do a white top and then with a little blue trim.
No, we'll go in England.
We'll go in England
Oh.
colours. And get that darker grey out as well.
But
I
that's
do find that colouring with these pencils in particular can be a little bit more easier. So if you're, or with the pencils as well, if you're new to colouring and it's something that you're wanting to get into, then these two mediums in particular can be quite easy because the techniques are quite simple to do, if that makes sense. So I'm going to start off with, these brown colours I've chosen from the green selection, which is Forest Walk, and this is 078, and I'm going to start off by using this pen, and I'm just going in on these areas, so it's really light on here.
Oh, so on Facebook, thank you whoever's done that. They've just put the link for the swatch charts in the comments, so you'll be able to go straight to those.
I think that this pen is actually run out a little bit because it's not.
Do you want me to go and grab mine?
I think I might be okay with this one. This is better, yeah. This colour's coming through a lot better. So I've just gone in and added a really light touch with the that's 705, and then I'm going to go in and just use this colour around the outside edge of my teddy. So just in here, you can go in a little bit darker on any areas that you want to, and then we are going to bring in our water brushes. Now we do have like 3 different nibs on our water brushes, so for colouring in and things like this where you've got a smaller surface area,
yeah,
you know that you've got sort of different sizes, and you can see how much pressure you need to put down to make sure that this is really wet. You don't want it to be like soaking, you just want it to be light enough that you can melt the ink across and it will give you a really beautiful finish. So again, I don't have as much water this time, so you can see I'm having to go in quite a bit with that, but the more water you add on, the more it's going to activate that colour and it's going to drag out those images. So I wouldn't go in with these pens and put loads of colour down. I would
Yeah.
just add it to sort of like the outside edges, and then I would
Sort of drag it
drag
with,
the
yeah.
colour into the space. But the beauty of this as well is that if you do have too much colour, we can go in and we can lighten that by just sort of like dragging the colour in and out. So let's do...
But it's nice to see how you're picking the water up from your glass mat as well, but then using that
Yeah.
tissue or wipe to sort of take off any excess water.
You don't want loads and loads going down on here, so it's really handy to have this. And when you're colouring as well, you want to drag the colour inwards, but then you also kind of want to push it back outwards as well. So you're dragging it inwards to like colour the image, but then you're pushing it back out, because if you left it sort of in, it's not going to give you that nice like blended look. So with this bit here, like I need to push that colour back out to the edge, so we've got that sort of like nice light look around here. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of colour from the outside edge just to do the teddy. What you can do with this as well, if you're wanting to put down colour but not a lot, you can use your pens as a palette and then mix the ink with water, and then you'll get more of like a diluted shade. So with his nose there, I've got a much more lighter brown than I would have done if I'd have like picked up. But then I can go in with this darker bit here, and you can also like pick up that colour if I want to add specifically darker elements. I can go back in and add more colour in that way as well, instead of going in with my pen, adding my pen and then blending it out. So there's lots of cool ways to do this, but I do think that this is probably, I would say, like the quickest way to, in terms of like our colouring mediums, this is the quickest sort of design you get. So let's go in and we'll give him a really dark brown chocolate nose. I need like almost like a skin colour. I think we've got like a peach in this Heavenly Sunset that works really nicely. I think it's this one.
And then on the other end, the other nib is a fine liner, isn't it?
It
You
is,
could even
so
go in and add some
like
sort of
with-
details with those as well.
With your fine liner now, I can just go in, and it's still water based as well, so you can still get that gorgeous sort of finish, but you can just go in to those smaller areas if you want to. So I'm going to go in like that, and then I'm going to use my fine liner of my blue on my shirt here. I don't want it to, because using it this way as well allows you to do that sort of like blending still, but in the smaller spaces. I've gone really light with that there. We're going to do red shorts. So we'll again just add the colour along there. I can go in with my fine liner afterwards to do like the trim. I can do the trim on his socks. Let's do that red.
And it's lovely that you can put the pen straight onto the cardstock,
Yeah.
isn't it? Or you can sort of put them onto your glass mat first.
And then I'm going to do like dark on his boots. And then I always forget which bit of the trainers, but which bit of the football to colour in, but it's like a flower, isn't it? And then everyone around that flower needs to be the other colour. So then again, you can just wipe any excess colour off. We can go in with the red, just melt that colour down. Apologies if my head's in the way. I'm trying my hardest.
Yeah, sometimes you can't help it, can you?
No.
Do you need to
So you can
lean
go
over?
across his little boots there, and then let's go over and just drag that colour really lightly. You don't want it to be too dark on the boots. Really lightly on there, and then you can do those bits of the football just lightly bring that in, and then any excess that you have of this grey colour from the middle of these hexagons, just go over the edges of the other hexagons on the ball, and it'll just add a little touch of dimension into that and make it look a bit more like a sphere. So I'm going to go in with my red again. Just going to give it a blast with my heat gun because I have used a lot of water on there. And one thing you don't want to do is go in with like your fine liners to add any detail.
Will the ink bleed then if you do that way?
Yeah, it will get quite messy. So just going in with that on here. Make sure it's nice and dry. And then you can go in with your other pens and add any detail that you want to. So I'm going to go really dark with my colour on here and around the top bit there, and you can just bring in a bit more of a darker shade. But then this is also where we can add a little bit more definition into our colouring. So I can go in with like the darker grey now, and I can just go in and add like tiny bit more highlight in certain areas on my boot, and then also on that football too. So just add in like darker patches, and that's the same for sort of like the shirt here. So we can go in and add those like darker grey colours just to get that sort of definition of colouring in that white shirt as well. And with this, I would say go over like the lines that Stacey's put in here, where like the shirt would be creased too, because that's going to help bring that colour in. And then I think I'll just add a little touch of red in on that badge, just at sort of like on the side. And then I can show you the difference of the colouring with my pencil and the colouring with your...
That shows it so well, doesn't it? That the
Brush
difference
markers.
that you get between the two.
It's crazy, isn't it?
And I love them both.
I know.
Isn't it?
I do actually.
Yeah.
This is the thing, I think you'll have a favourite way and medium to colour. Like I love my alcohol markers. However, I think when you actually sit down and colour with the other mediums as well, you actually find a love for them just as much.
Yeah.
So alcohol markers next. We did this on our stamping card, which is our white ink me card. We stamped it in Memento because we're going to use alcohol markers. You could have also used your ink from your Prism ink pads if you wanted to. They will work just as fine. And then we're going to colour these in. So I've got my reds. I'm going to do a red guitar. I'm going to get some of my greys. We're going to do like a leather jacket, I think.
Oh, nice.
Black boots maybe, and then we'll try and do like a blue for the pants as well. So grab a few colours, and again I would always recommend having like a little bit more cardstock that you can swatch these colours down onto, because unlike the rest of the mediums we've just used, your alcohol markers are a little bit more tricksy. I would say the colours look like a certain colour, but actually they can be a darker blue or a bit more pinky. So definitely sort of like look at those colours. And then for my...
Yeah, I think definitely download the swatch chart for these, isn't it? Yeah.
For my browns, I'm actually going to go and use some like skin tone colours first. That one. You can see that one's really purple, but it actually looks like a pinky colour. We'll use that one, and then we'll do this colour. Let's do that. So again, I'm going to start off with, let me just double check, the 537, which is your lightest colour on here. And I'm just going to go around the edges. Now, unlike your other colours where you can like, if you go over something, you can take it away. You can't do that with your alcohol markers. So you really want to be careful with exactly where you are adding this colour down. Now, like the other colours, I'm not like block colouring, so I'm not making sure that the whole of my image is coloured. I am leaving doing it in circular motions and kind of leaving little gaps of that colour. He's got ripped jeans, so let's colour in his knees as well.
Viv says, I'm loving the show today. It's so interesting watching Natalie colour in using the different mediums.
And then I'm going to go in with the darker colour and bring that in. Now, unlike your other colours where the colours kind of like blend together, or you can use the water to blend them together, the best way to blend your alcohol markers together is to actually go over with your lighter shade. So let me just go in with this one, and then we can go in with the lighter shade and just blend those colours together where it is necessary. So you're just going to go over those joins. And I'm going to go in with that darker shade now, and I'm again going to use the fine liner. If you were doing larger surface areas, we do have the other nib that you can use. But for any sort of like small stamps like this, I would always recommend the smaller areas, that smaller nib. So let's just go around.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to have that choice, isn't it, as well?
Here. I'm kind of like flicking my colour in with where it's going to blend. So really look just like light shades of colour. Colour his knees again. And then I'm going to go back over with the lighter shade, not that middle shade. And I might use the fine liner end actually. And then just blend those colours in together. You also need a lot more, I would say, patience for blending these colours together than you would need with your pens and those your watercolour pencils, because there's kind of like a chemical reaction happening here, and you need to give it time to sort of mix those colours. What you do get with this using your alcohol markers though is that you get a gorgeous almost like cartoon effect with your colouring. It looks very three-dimensional. This is a really dark brown that I'm just going to bring in on the outside edges. And I think layering your colours as well with this one really helps to get lots of different tones and shades into your designs as well. So don't be afraid to sort of like add lots and lots of colours into here, because it's what's going to make the images stand out. So then I'm going to go back in just over and flick that colour in to where I've just added that darker shade, which it wasn't everywhere, just in little spots.
And the thing is, if you've got a good quality cardstock, it will take that amount of colour, won't it, as well, so you can keep going over it.
It does kind of like come through on the back. You'll start to see it, so you'll want to sort of like back your work if you're going to send it to anyone in that way, but it's not necessarily an issue with this. So going in with that lightest colour again first, and then I'm going to bring in that second colour just around here, and then again I'll go in with that nice creamy shade, almost like a cinnamony brown. So we'll go around there, and then I'm going to go in with the cinnamon brown on his nose, and then I'm going to bring in that dark colour just to add highlights into there. So for his sunglasses, I'm going to go with Cool Grey 1, and then I'm going to go in with Cool Grey 3, just around here. And then again, where Stacey's added that those sort of like lines, just go over those bits and pieces, and then you can go back in with that cool grey, the lighter grey, just to highlight those points. I'm going to use a pinkier colour, and this is from your neutrals, so these are going to be really good. The neutrals are going to be really good for the bear. I'm just going to go in on those corners there. Then let's go in with his jacket. Now we want a black jacket, but you don't want to go black. You don't want to go darkest first. So I'm going to start off with Cool Grey 3, which we use for his glasses. And that's going to be my base for this. So we can go in and just go around that guitar, anywhere where that jacket is. I'm just going to colour that in. And then I'm going to go in with Cool Grey 5. So this one is going to be a lot darker. And I'm just going to add it to those points of my jacket, around the outside edges as well.
Diane said you're fab at explaining things.
Oh, thank you. I'm hoping that I'm doing a good job, because it can be...
You are?
It can
Oh,
be
really?
quite... colouring can be quite difficult to
it is.
sort of get the hang of, I think. So I think
But
if you can...
It is just practicing it. There's been comments in the chat about people thinking that their colouring's not good enough and it never looks how they want it to. But I think it's practice. And I think we're our own harshest critics, aren't we, as well?
Yeah. We criticise ourselves for everything that we do, don't we? I'm going to give him a little red neck on his top, and then with that cool grey in that lighter colour, Cool Grey 3 I've gone with, and then I'm just going to lighten that up with that Cool Grey 1, just so you get that nice hint of colour. I got some blues for his pants. I'm not sure which ones I'm going to use, so I'm just going to put that down. Going with this one first, which is going to be like our base colour.
I often use the cool greys rather than black, because if you use black on black ink, it sort of can sometimes hide the detail, can't it? So if you kind of use...
see it.
Yes, if you use the sort of cool greys, you can almost get the effect of a black colour without
doing it.
Yeah, without hiding the detail.
Yeah, I think that's... so I use Cool Grey 5 and Cool Grey 3 for my jacket, so it definitely helps, because like I said, if you want something to look black, don't go in with those darker colours.
No.
And I would say with these pens in particular, don't go in with any dark colours at first, because like we've said, with every sort of colouring, you can add stuff, but you can never take it away. So it's always, you should definitely do the lighter colours. And I am going to go up a step. So for his boots, I'm going to go in with Cool Grey 4. So this again is a darker grey, but it's a darker grey than our Cool Grey 3, which we put as his jacket. So this will, I'm going to do the whole of his boot in this, and then we're going to add a little bit of definition with a darker colour and just blend that out. So this is Cool Grey 4, and then I'm going to go in with Cool Grey 5, which we used on the jacket, just to go over the edge of his boots. Like so. Got his guitar to do next, which is going to be red. So again, going in with the lightest colour of red here.
I think all of the tips though that you've kind of shared throughout this could be sort of used with any types of stamps, couldn't they? Whether they're
100%.
characters, whether it's floral,
it's not specifically for like these stamps, although we are using them, and it's handy to be able to talk about them. It's not particularly for these stamps at all. No, they're going to help. It's going to help you out in all of your sort of stamping and colouring in that journey that you're taking on. So again, I'm going to do the cool grey around this bit, just so it still looks white, but it's just adding that little touch in. I'm going to go in with, that's way too dark, Cool Grey 3, just on the outside edge, and then we can just blend that back out into those areas there. And then think he's finished. What I would like to do with this one though, and this is a really cool tip and trick, is that if you have elements on here, like the studs on his jacket, I've coloured them in now, and although you can see them, it's not going to work like that, is it? We'll have to bring him up. We'll have to put him up in our lineup of teddies. Oh no, why is it not? Am I too close? Although you can see it, if you take a gel pen, and we're just going to go over all of those little dots where the studs are supposed to be. And I'm not going over a lot, I'm literally just dabbing it on, so you'll still see the black outline of the studs themselves, but this is just going to be able to allow you to highlight those images. And then on his shoes, like, you could add little markings along here if you wanted to. On anything that's like dark, if you're wanting to add a highlight, then go in with a gel pen. It's a really cool technique, and it again is just another way that is going to elevate your colouring by adding in these little touches. I'm going to do some on his glasses, and then our three bears. I don't know which camera is going to be best to show you on. Or maybe I'll be able to hold them up. I can maybe hold them up on the other one. So this is your alcohol marker bear. This is your water colour bear. And then this one is your pencil bear.
They are, aren't they? It's given them real character, hasn't it? You can... But I love the difference as well.
But they're completely different in terms of the way that they look because of the different mediums we use. So we'll go back to Amy.
Okay.
She can share the last little bits with us, and then we'll put this card together.
Oh, fab. Okay, so a quick weekly reminder. You can be in with a chance to win our Spring Is Here Ultimate Collection. You are getting the 120-page little book, Spring Is Here. You are getting the whole Deco Large collection. A minimum of 24 supersized cards you can make with that. And then lastly, you are getting the luxury inserts worth £54.97. 2 lucky winners will win this on Friday's show. All you need to do is like, share and comment the answer to the following question. The Imperial State Crown consists of how many jewels in total? Is it A, over 3,000, B, over 2,000, or C, over 4,000. Like, share and comment, and you can be in with a chance of doing that amazing prize there. Let's move the iPad out of the way. So the last few things and essentials that you are going to need if you want to try any of the techniques and tips that Natalie has shared with us today is the correct cardstock. It is so important. So here we've got your 6x6 essential card block. It is Inkme cardstock, 75 sheets, 300 GSM. So ideal for using your Prism inks.
Yeah.
Should be it is £9.99, but £8.99 if you are a Diamond Club member. And you can see, look how much you get in there.
It's such a good size, and I think because all of our masks are 6x6.
Yes.
If you like using masks for backgrounds, then this is a really essential one.
This is going to be perfect as well. So that is your essential card block, your Inkme cardstock there. We have also got the 8x8 version. Again, the same Inkme cardstock. This time it is 40 sheets because obviously you are getting the larger size. £9.99 or £8.99 if you are a Diamond Club member. Another essential there. Next up, let's move that way, otherwise we will block the camera. You have got the A4 card block. 25 sheets. Again, Inkme, perfect for your stamping, colouring, distressing. You can see all the different ways that it's been used on the cover there. Same price, £9.99 or £8.99 if you are a Diamond Club member. You can trim this down, so I think it's just preference, isn't it? As to which one you want to get hold of. So that is your A4 size. I mean, A3.
A3 is so good,
Just
isn't it?
perfect. So your A3 one, you are getting 25 sheets of your A3, £17.99 or £16.19 if you are a Diamond Club member. So we have got the A3, the A4, you've got your 8x8, and then you've also got your 6x6 here as well. So check out the website, have a think about the size of cards that you make, the sort of the tools that you want to use with them, whether it is masks, your colouring mediums, and get hold of those on the website for those. Lastly, this does not make any sense to me, but we're going to go with it. Your silver Miri cards. I do not know how much of this we get through in the office. We use it day in, day out. It's £9.99 for 20 sheets, but we are giving you the same again. So you're buying 20 sheets, you are getting 20 sheets free. So 40 sheets of silver Miri in total for £9.99. So you are literally getting double the amount that you should.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Seems an even better deal when the 10 sheet packs are actually £5.99 each.
So 10 sheets is £5.99.
Yeah.
So you're getting 4 times that.
Yeah.
Wowzers.
So that's nearly £24.
Yeah.
£23.96.
Crazy.
Yeah, and you're getting 40 sheets for £9.99. And we mentioned it yesterday. We're going to use the C word. Christmas is coming.
My second favourite C word.
We won't ask you what your first one is. Christmas is on its way, so make sure you get hold of your Miri now while it is on offer. The same offer with the gold. You are getting 20 sheets. You're paying for 20 sheets and you are getting another 20 sheets free. So for £9.99 you are getting 40 sheets of your gold Miri. So definitely stock up on that while you are getting, well, you're getting double, aren't you?
Yeah.
So it's buy one, get one free, isn't it? 40 sheets of Miri for just £9.99. Absolute bargain. We have to do that. So we are going to go back over to Natalie now just to see her put her card together.
So I've just been trimming down my panel. So I've taken the edge off this that you get, and I'm going to mat and layer this onto some black. So I'll get my dotty tape runner, my normal tape runner, sorry, out for that one, and we'll just run that along here. So that is going to sit on there, and then this will go onto our 6x6.
Somebody's just asking about the
I think.
white gel pens.
Oh, so
We don't stock them, do we?
we don't stock them yet.
That's what I put in the palette.
Oh, did you? Yes.
We don't stock them yet. But if you are looking for them, we found that these we use the Artex ones. It's ARRTX, and again we just buy them in like a bulk pack from that place that also is a rainforest.
Oh, we called it the river web.
The river website. That's what it is. River website, rainforest. That's where we get ours from, and we all have them, and they are some of the best
Yeah.
gel pens that we've used, but we have sourced some very good ones.
We have. We like to trial and test, don't we, first?
We absolutely do.
So on the screen now, you will just see the details for those stamps that Natalie has been using throughout this morning's show. Contains 15 Teddy themed stamps that coordinate perfectly with the free gift in the current Crafting with Hunkydory magazine. The stamps are £11.99 or £10.79 if you are a Diamond Club member.
So let's pop all of these together. I'm going to pop my DIY bear and my football bear quite central on that card there, and then I'm going to grab some 4mm foam pads so it's double the height of those bears, and I'm going to pop my Rockstar bear in the middle. But what I'm going to do is just bring his height down a little bit more. I think if I just squidge this one in, because I've used inks on here, although they have dried a little bit in the time it's taken us to colour this guy in, they are still a little bit wet. So I'm going to bring him in so he's a little bit further down, which is going to give the perspective that he's also kind of like more at the front. And then we need a sentiment. So one of the sentiments I didn't use was have a very good birthday. So we're going to use this one. I got some white cardstock. This is just a strip from the card that we have been using. And I'm going to go in with my VersaFine because that gives you the cleanest text. VersaFine, or you can get VersaClair now as well. They're really good ink pads for like how well they sort of like stamp sentiments and how clear that comes out. So we'll just trim that off here. Let's see how that is going to look. Now I want to do a matte and layer, but I don't know if I want to do black or red. I think we might do black just so it ties together. So what size did we stop with here? Just go 2 over the 1. Oh, do it this way around because it's wonky on the other side. Let's see if that fits.
So the link for those Teddy time stamps is now in the comments on Facebook if anyone wants to go to those.
They are super cute, aren't they? I think I can imagine like sending these like Teddy stamps to so many different people, like male and female friends, family members as well.
Definitely, and for different occasions, isn't it? You could do birthdays, maybe a new job. There's one that wears a suit, isn't there, in there?
So 2mm foam pad again, just so it's not as high as our Rockstar Bear, but it's just going to fit underneath his feet. And then I think we need to go in with some gemstones, and I'm going to go in, if I can find them, with our ABs. Again, if you're adding gemstones or anything like this, remember to make sure that your design is completely clear. This is literally all the same pack. How mad is that? We'll go. Oh yes, there is. I could use the crystals, to be fair. They would definitely work. It's just to add a little something something. There is a box of ABs though. I just wasn't looking. Let me grab my pokey tool. I'm just going to pop. Ooh.
Yeah, you always have to make sure that the ink is dry, don't you? Otherwise it just doesn't stick.
It's not going to stick. They're just going to come off. But we have let this dry for quite some time now. So it's not that bad. And I'm going to just do like 3 gemstones here. And then I might just do another 2 up here. And then we can just do a couple of random placemented ones. Let's go in. Do another one there. Can pop that one there. Do another little one. Ooh. There. And if I can get another little one off, I'll put another one up here as well. So there you go. A card that uses all the different colouring techniques and blending techniques that we've been able to show you on the show today.
I absolutely love that. Carol said that's great. Viv says absolutely loving this card now, and it just demonstrates all those techniques, doesn't it, that we've gone through in today's show. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I've had fun.
I hope you've all enjoyed it as much as I have. I've loved it. You can always re-watch the show back as well. So whichever colouring medium you're using, check out that part of the show to get all of those tips and techniques again from Natalie. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Love it.
Very welcome.
Next up on Hobby Maker, Anne-Marie is there today. She's kicking off our £100,000 celebrations over on Hobby Maker. She will be live at 3 p.m. with brand new butterfly jewels.
You don't want to miss that.
I know. It's stunning, isn't it?
It's so pretty.
So that's at 3 p.m. 5 p.m. with Premier Craft Tool offers, and then at 8 p.m. with another look at that gorgeous butterfly jewels. Next up here on Hunkydory TV, yourself, Nat, and Kat
me and
tomorrow.
Kat are back.
And you are bringing the fabulous butterfly jewel collection.
I'm very excited. There's so much on that show, though.
I know.
We
And
could be
there's,
here all morning.
I think there's some freebies as well, isn't there?
Lots and
Yeah,
lots of
so
freebies.
you definitely won't want to miss that. We hope you've enjoyed today's show. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be back bright and early tomorrow at 10 a.m.